So how can you, a man coming from 147, I know he's a great man. Crawford is a great man and a great warrior. But you come from 147 to put on a better fight than I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that...
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, two of boxing's biggest stars, have seen their budding rivalry reach a boiling point. The Mexican superstar, known for his dominance across multiple weight divisions, didn't mince words as he took aim at Crawford, making it clear that the tension between them is escalating.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkanash know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next?
Speaking to TMZ Sports, Canelo Alvarez delivered a stinging critique of Terence Crawford, saying, "Look, I respect Terence Crawford. He's very talented, but he's only won one big fight. If you look at his record, he's only beaten one good fighter. Other than that, he hasn't faced top competition like Spence." That comment landed like a punch to the gut, sparking strong reactions from both fans and fighters alike. Many began predicting an early win for Canelo, further heating up the already intense rivalry.
The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably.
Terence Crawford, undefeated and with victories over fighters like Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and Errol Spence Jr., wasn't about to let Canelo's jab slide. He fired back on social media, writing, "LEL, that's crazy. So every fighter I've fought isn't good, but one. Just remember what you said, because I've always had the joy of making somebody look like a nobody." Crawford's response only intensified the drama, with fans now debating whether Canelo's comments were fair or just a tactic to build hype for a potential showdown. The idea of these two pound-for-pound kings facing off has boxing enthusiasts buzzing, and Saudi boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh seems to be at the heart of the ongoing negotiations.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing.
Many had assumed that the deal between Canelo and Crawford was close to being finalized, but Turki Al-Sheikh threw everyone off with a cryptic social media post just a few days ago. In it, he wrote, "We are not talking about boxing, we were discussing the video game asterisk Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves asterisk, which will launch on April 24, 2025. I challenged them in the game, and we decided not to go ahead with the boxing match because all three of us hate boxing. Instead, we chose yoga." Was he serious, or was this just a clever way to keep the speculation going? Either way, fans were left scratching their heads, unsure of what to.
The fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good.
Amid the ongoing chaos, Callum Smith, a fighter who shared the ring with Canelo, weighed in on the debate, raising concerns about whether Crawford can handle the size and power of Alvarez. A natural 168 Ulbs fighter, Smith knows firsthand how tough it is to face Canelo in that division. "That's a great fight," Smith told pro boxing fans. "They're both pound-for-pound stars and exceptional fighters. It'll be interesting to see how the weight affects Crawford moving up to 168. Smith noted that Crawford started his career at 135 Ulbs, and moving up 2 full weight classes to face someone like Canelo is no easy task. He's a 4-weight world champion, so going up another 2 divisions to take on Canelo is going to be tough," Smith added.
Ooh-wee! Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is about to be a real thing for September. I'm gonna need us to really talk about this. If you got Canelo winning this fight, I need to know why you think Canelo winning this fight. If you got Bud winning this...
Smith also drew comparisons to Jermell Charlo, who moved up in weight to face Canelo but struggled to handle the size difference. As we saw with Charlo, he's a very good fighter, but he couldn't really cope with Canelo, Smith said. "It's fine putting on weight, but there's a natural size difference, and Crawford is coming up from the lower weights." Smith pointed out that Crawford's lack of experience at super middleweight is another red flag. He hasn't fought at 168 before, and even his move to 154 against Israel Madrimov wasn't exactly smooth, Smith added. Combine that with the possibility of a 13-month layoff, if the fight happens in September, and many are questioning whether Crawford might be biting off more than he can chew.
Stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
On the other hand, Crawford's supporters argue that he's a once-in-a-generation talent capable of overcoming challenges that would break other fighters. They point to his dominant performance against Errol Spence Jr. in 2023 as proof of his ability to rise to the occasion. However, the idea of Crawford jumping 2 weight classes to fight Canelo has left some fans skeptical. Is this fight about proving his greatness, or is it just a massive payday for the Nebraska native? Critics like Smith suggest it might be the latter, warning that fans could feel cheated if the fight turns out to be one-sided. If Crawford doesn't want to face top fighters at 168, all you can think is that he's just there for the payday, Smith said bluntly. Clip: Canelo Alvarez, with a record of 62 wins and 39 knockouts, is no stranger to taking on ambitious opponents. However, even his most loyal supporters acknowledge that he's not the same fighter he was a few years ago. At 33, signs of wear and tear are beginning to show, as evidenced by his tougher-than-expected bouts against Dimitri Bivol and others. Bernard Hopkins' opinion on the potential matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez may not be surprising to many, but it has certainly added fuel to the increasingly heated debate. Size does matter, he said bluntly, dismissing Crawford's chances in the super middleweight division. The 59-year-old, who made impressive jumps between weight classes during his own career, has become one of the loudest critics of this potential fight. However, Hopkins' words are not without controversy. Some fans have pointed out the contradiction in his stance, as he was once known for taking risky fights against naturally bigger opponents. But in this case, Hopkins firmly believes that Crawford is stepping into uncharted territory, where success is far from guaranteed. Clip: Hopkins' criticism of the potential matchup has sparked backlash from Crawford's camp and fans, who argue that Hopkins is underestimating Crawford's skill set and adaptability, qualities that have made him one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. Hopkins is talking like he wasn't the underdog in some of his biggest fights, one fan wrote on social media. He's just trying to downplay Crawford because he knows how dangerous Bud really is. Despite the pushback, Hopkins seems unfazed, doubling down on his stance. He reiterated that Crawford is taking on too many risks at this stage in his career, further fueling the debate. Clip: Meanwhile, Tim Bradley's perspective couldn't be more different. The former 2-weight world champion, known for his candid and often bold takes, believes Crawford has everything